Yeah. No, I mean, I just had an interview earlier today with a gentleman. He's down in Florida. He went to Catholic, so he was familiar with Division III and Messiah, but he's like, nobody down here in Florida has heard of
Right.
Messiah. I'm okay with that. I have neighbors in Mechanicsburg, that don't know we have a soccer program. I'm like, it's all good. I got no problem with that. Messiah's not for everybody. Messiah, for the right kid, I think there's no better place. But um, you know, if it's hard sometimes to pull apart on the field and off the field stuff. Um, you're talking specifically about kind of our style of play. Um, I think that's directly from Dave. Now Leighton impacted that. Leighton wanted to have the ball. He wanted to possess. That was important to him. Um, I think, there was a famous coach who said one time, Messiah's, not tough enough to win a national championship. And that was um, maybe the case, certainly for some teams at times. They won a couple NCCAA national championships, one in '78 and one in '81. Jumped into NCAA's and made a couple Final Fours in '86 and '88. We were Sweet 16 my senior year, but I think Dave, brought both a competitive fire and a toughness that hadn't always been here. We were kind of like nice Christian kids. The other thing that Dave brought was, I think detail in a time of soccer where it was kind of like, hey, we're going to like kind of teach some of these random ideas and policy, just like idea. And then we're going to roll the ball out. And then I'm just going to like sit back and it's a player's game. And in some respects, that's true, right? Like, there's no timeouts. There's no like quarters. It's 45 minutes. So there's certainly more responsibility that players have compared to a lacrosse coach, a basketball coach who can like call timeout and call a play. And I think some of that has changed, with the rise of game models and all that stuff. But Dave's was interested in finding how much he could control in the game. And I think the thing that opened my eyes when I was in Kansas and South Carolina for 7 years and came back, and Dave had been the head coach for 4 years. What opened my eyes was Dave's ability to break it down where what you practiced showed up in a game. A lot of times in soccer, coach is like, we're going to play rondo for 30 minutes, possess. And then you get to the game and they're like, kick it to the corner, so to see what to have those things. And, when you have a lot of structure, it feels uncomfortable for our newer players, because what we're saying is, here's a box of team agreements that we're all going to be on the same page. And this is how you need to do it. And they're used to doing whatever they want. And we're like, well, we can't be on the same page if you just do whatever you want. And they're like, why can't, it's like it's this uncomfortability. But once you learn all the different options and the choices that you have within that construct, you have the freedom to do lots of different things. You just can't do whatever you want. Now, sometimes if you bring something and you're like, I want to add this, and we're like, oh, all right, everybody can do this, because it's effective. If you try and do something that doesn't work, I'm like, yeah, that doesn't work. And so I think this idea that there's structure in a game that inherently feels unstructured, just 22 different players with that it's flowing all the time, and I think you see it much more now in a lot of different areas than when Dave took over in the late '90s.